Hello guys, I had a little bit of a brain fart this morning and I thought to myself, what did I get from YouTube when I was training to do nails? And it was learning techniques for nail art which can then be further used in so many different ways. So I've thought of a little series. We're going to be doing nail art back to basics, and I'm going to cover different techniques. I'm going to try to do one a week. So like today we're going to be doing marbling. Now when I was in college, wait till you see these, I've got a certificate and everything in nail art, and we had to design a set of nails like this, excuse the drawing, and then we had to apply that design onto a set of tips, and then we had to do it onto a client for us to pass. And we had to do a few different designs, like I've got some Christmas ones, I've got some Valentine's ones, and these are the tips that I did. Marbling, striping and foils, this covered. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I can't get it off. The foils are sticking up, the marble's all lumpy. It's thick. If that was on an actual person, that would probably cause allergies. And obviously, since I did this, I have learnt so much. It's unreal. So, like I say, I've got the old portfolio out, and we're going to go back to basics, back to what was expected for me to learn when I was in college, how I've learnt it, and what I've learnt since. So, welcome to today's series. We're going to be doing some marbling. Okay, marbling looks amazing, can be used as a feature nail, could be used as a background. There's so many different things, and if you're struggling to think of something to put on, say, the ring finger or whatever, marble it. That's what I do. Looks great. You can make it plainer, you can jazz it up with the foils and the glitter and everything. So we'll go over a few different techniques. So there's no tools necessarily needed. I've just got 5 tips. This one is just base coat, which I've cured, and then these have just got random colours that I've picked out, one coat, because we're going to be marbling on the top, so you're not going to specifically see this, but it's just to give it that little bit of opacity. I've got a selection of gel polishes, just random colours. These are all blue sky ones. I would say for marbling, gel polish works better than like the art gels. Obviously the art gel's quite thick, so it's a bit harder for you to manipulate. I've got my palette. I've got a little paper one, either dotting tool, orange stick, toothpick. I've got some liners. I've got a 20mm and a 9mm, and I've got just a little brush. You'll see what we need that for in a minute. So the first technique that I'm going to show you is blooming gel. I've got the Born Pretty one. You can use standard base coat. You just put a layer on, you don't cure, and then you add your polish to it. Exactly the same as like what I'm doing with this. It will bloom with base coat, but not as much as it will do with this. So I'm going to get some colours on my palette, and then we'll get cracking. Back in a sec. Okay, so I've got the colours on my palette like that. Just put them in little lines. You've probably seen this. Now, like I say, toothpick, dotting tool, give a little swirl, And then on your nail, a thin, because you've got to remember we are adding a lot of polish in one go. So we need to make sure that we're not going too crazy. So get your base coat or blooming gel or watercolour gel, some call it. A nice thin coat. And then I was going to use that little brush, but I need that for something else. So I've got like a little ombre brush, or you can use something like your normal gel brush. What we're going to do is we're going to scoop across. Am I in? Yeah, we're in shot. And then we're just going to float it, turning the brush over the blooming gel, so it's slowly rolling off. And then after each time, just going to wipe off all that extra that was on the brush. So we're going to do another scoop, and we'll do it over this part. Okay, I think this is going to be enough on the nail now. So wiping off the excess, I'm going to push underneath to pull out and smooth it. If you can see. So where it's bulked up underneath, pull it out. Make sure we've got everywhere covered. And then either using a brush, or if you're wearing gloves, you can use your finger. Remember, don't get uncured gel on any skin. And then we're going to put that in the lamp and give that a full cure. Obviously, doing this on tips is different to doing it on people. So if you was to do that on a person, I would recommend smaller scoops, and just really slowly just roll it. So as you're putting it onto the nail, you sort of brush as it's coming down, you turn in your brush so it's coming off, and then you're dragging it through. And then work the bit that you've put on and see how much you need, and then do another nice little scoop, making sure that when you do it as well on people, you can't go on the skin, so don't go too close to around the top of the nail. So you could place the gel a little bit further out, and then come in with a small liner brush and then just pull it so it's more full coverage and close to the cuticle. And there we go. So that is using blooming gel or base coat. Obviously, like I say, you will get less of a bloom, but if you use less, you can pull it to however you want to use it. I couldn't get my words out then. Okay, so that was blooming gel. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to be using cling film. Be back in a minute. Right, okay. I've just had to wipe over the nail because I was in the middle of doing it and then someone bloody decided to ring me. So that's why it looks a bit matte. Okay, so I've got a white, I've got a dark red, I've got the red that's on the nail, and I've got like a sparkly one. And for this design, I'll just, oh goodness me, that was a big splodger, wasn't it? And then just going to stick a bit up there. And then a little bit of sparkle. Looks a mess, right? Okay, so this is just sort of a bit of a bag that some nail art stickers came in. You can use cling film and just put it on. And splodge, splodgy. And then lift it up and you can put it back down. Keeps moving everywhere. Oh, there we go. Oh, was I in shot for any of that? Here we go. So there's the splodgy design. So I'm going to, because we've got more red than the purpley colour over here. And the edges. But because you've got that base colour and it is one of the colours that you're using in the marble, it looks unreal, doesn't it? That gives me sort of like Nebula Galaxy vibes if you add a bit more sparkle in there for that one. So I think this one has to be my favourite, because then you can just wipe that off and splodge again or whatever. So I'm going to cure that one. Okay, so for this one, we're going to be using the nail which has just got base coat on, and I've got some neons. I'm trying to brighten everyone's day. And what we're going to do is I'm going to get my long liner brush and starting from the darkest colour, I'm just going to squiggle on. Let me go for the pink. So we're just plopping them. This is another easy technique, probably the least mess. Like so. Clean off in between each colour. Oops. A bit of that around there. A bit of there. And then the yellow. Sorry if you can hear my TV in the background. I've left it on to keep the bird company so he doesn't shout. Okay, so we've got all the colours on. Brush it clean. And just little swirlies through. And there's that technique. Oh, doesn't that give Scooby-Doo vibes? I love that. Neons, I'm so excited for neons, right? Okay, so I'm just going to put that in the lamp. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to put a thin coat of just your normal base coat, and we're not going to cure. So we want a little blooming effect, but not as much as obviously with the blooming gel. So like I say, thin layer. So I've got it all covered. Just take off any excess now. And then I've got these colours here. So I'm going to start with this sort of dark reddy purpley colour. And I don't want loads on my brush. So I'm going to pull it through. and then drag it through, but as you come into the end, slowly start lifting off. Do some veins. As you can see, it's blooming slightly, but we're not using as much product. So just let them go for a little bit while I clean my brush. And then I'm also going to go along those lines a little bit, too much, a little bit of white. Just gently pulling them through, sort of floating it into the base coat. And we'll do some, it's coming down there. There. Okay, wipe off again. And then I'm going to get a little bit of black and then drag that through really lightly again. One coming through there. And it's the one thing I like about marble is it looks so effective. It's quite simple. You can personalize it to whatever set it is that you're doing with whatever colors. So, and no marble, two marble will ever be the same. Okay, so there's that one. I'm just going to put that into cure. While that is curing, what we'll do is I'll go back to, what did it look best on? We'll go back to the Scooby-Doo nail. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it like that, but you can go a little bit more detail if you feel confident to do so. So I'm going to get a little bit of white. Now this white that I'm using, it's not a white, it's like a off-white. I think it's called Mushroom from Blue Sky. Oh God, keep going out of focus, I'm sorry. Right, okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to drag down with the white, like we did with the black and the other colours. Not pressing too hard, so we want to have some parts that are thicker and then it comes down to where it's sort of fading out. I might do a little bit going up there. Sorry if you just heard my stomach grumbling then. Not mine, but I've had something to eat. Okay. So when you've got that like that, I'm just going to use this small little brush, and on one side of the vein, just going to tap it out. So it sort of fades it, makes the line thinner, but sort of blends into its background a little. Okay, so I'm just going to do another one. Yeah, I'll do it coming down. Coming down all the way down. I'm just going to tap that out. Like I say, you can do these any colours. The veins don't have to be black and white. They can be the colours that you've put in. You can then put chrome over the top. I think sometimes, you know, when you're starting out on nail art, you look at something like this and you're like, oh my goodness, that looks like it's a lot of work. But I don't know. Okay, and then I'm going to put that in the lamp. And there's that one. So then for that one, what I'm going to do is I've got some of that sparkly polish. And I'm just going to go like highlight the darker lines. As we go down. So you can have the nails as packed with colour, or you can have them more subtle like that one. I'm just going to put that one into cure. Just depends on what effect you're going for. And then there's that one. It's got like the little white accents in there now. So the last technique, I have to excuse this, it got stuck on the side of my lamp, is, so this is just the one coat. So I'm going to do a second coat of the gel polish, and I'm not going to cure this. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply the colours that we're going to be doing the marble straight into the gel polish, a bit like the blooming gel and the base coat. I should start using what I've got on my palette really, then getting more colours out, shouldn't I? Okay. So I'm going to scoop obviously if you want to do this from the bottle, you'd probably do this a lot neater than me. I'm just trying to use what I've got on my palette, then saves getting more polishes opened. So this is going into wet gel polish. And then what we are going to do is we're going to use either toothpick, dotting tool. I'm just going to swirl around. Remember, don't do too much mixing because you will end up with like a brown blob eventually when all the colours mix up. So you just want to drag through. Oops, stuck my finger in it. And not stick your finger in it. So let's go through. So there we go. Just go along here. See how it all pulls? Because there is a lot on there. So we do need to get that off. Obviously, if you're going to do that with your finger, please make sure you are wearing gloves. Don't do this just on bare skin. There we go. And I'm just going to cure that. Oh, goodness me, we've made a mess. We've made a mess, we have. Now with, like that one, I've just top coated. I love those colours, how that's worked out. That one, we added the veins. So shall we have a look and see what they look like with a matte top coat? Where are you? So this one I'm using the No White Blue Sky matte top coat. So I'll do one matte and then we'll do something with the other one. If you find that when you're applying the gel polish colours and you are getting all the lumps and bumps and ripples, you can do a layer of base coat before you top coat, and that should help give a smoother finish. Okay, so that one's going to go in there. Okay, so for these, the next stage, what could we do next? What could we do? Okay, so you could just leave marble like that. I can never just leave things alone, so we're going to do some random dots. And then I'm going to turn that one to a star. So what do we all think about this series idea that I've come up with? So obviously this one I've done is marbling techniques. I'm just going to put that one into cure. And there's that one in matte. See, marble. Oh, I love matte top coat with nail art. It's just amazing. I get far too excited. And this one, it's got some gold leaf, not gold leaf, silver leaf. Same thing, but different. So for this, I'm just going to dib, dab, and never sneeze when you've got your silver leaf, gold leaf, whatever, open, trust me. So there we go, there's a couple of bits that's just placed straight on top of the foil, marble. And then what we'll do is we'll top coat that one. So we've got a matte top coat. The mistake I made on my marble nails when I added the foil was I didn't get the foil thin enough. I didn't press it down enough. What I should have done really was used a base coat before I tried to put the foil on, because the gel polish underneath was really lumpy bumpy. So that one's into cure. Look at that now. I'm going to top coat this one. So with a simple splodging technique and a couple of dots, and then one that's had little arms put out, you don't even have to do that, you could just do the dots. Look how amazing that is. Isn't that gorgeous? And that was the one that we used the plastic bag cling film just to splodge it. So I'll give that one a cure. And so yeah, so there's the two neon ones while the other ones are curing. So that one's obviously matte. And then obviously you could go on to do You could add charms, anything really, you know. How are we missing one? Oh, there was already one in the lamp, that's why. Here we go. So, I've got to remember which one was which now. So this one we did just using an uncured base coat, lightly pulling gel polish through, letting it slightly bloom, layering, and then I used the glitter to sort of highlight on the darker vein. This one was, I can't remember. I actually really can't remember. I remember this one was the splodgy technique. Oh, I don't know, can't remember. You will probably all remember better than me. So anyway, you've got the blooming gel. You've got the where you mix it on your palette and then you scoop and you place it on and just let it roll off. Then we've got the uncured base coat. Then we've got the splodging, dotting tool as well. I mean, there are more other techniques, but I found these to be the most simple ones, and the splodging with the cling film will always be my favourite one. So yeah, that is the marbling, and next week, if everybody thinks this is a good idea, I don't know, or if there's anything particular that you want to see, let me know. But next week I think it's going to be about how to use chrome and the best ways to get a smooth application, how to do isolated chrome, reverse chrome, all of that craziness. But let me know what you all think, and hope you're all having a lovely day, and speak to you soon. Bye bye.